You already know what time it is. It's time for the Neuro-Spicy to unmask, unwind, and get divinely aligned. You like how I did that, huh? Each episode, we dive into personal stories, insights, and tools to help you live boldly and in flow. So grab your juice, wine, tequila, whatever suits your fancy, and let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode. It's your girl Janasia B, and today we're diving into something that has been on my mind heavily. So boom, I was scrolling through TikTok as one does, and I came across an autistic woman talking about neurodivergence, but through a spiritual lens, and that got me thinking, what if ADHD isn't a disorder, but a different type of consciousness? I know y'all, stay with me. What if it's a different way of experiencing the world? Like, what if the traits that society labels as deficits are actually signs that we're tapped into something bigger? And after deep diving into African and Eastern traditions, I knew that there was some shit that I needed to share with y'all, because I was like, wait a minute, hold on. So before we go too deep, let's take a moment and break it down for someone who may be new to neurodivergence. So ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. And it's actually not about a deficit of attention. I'm not too sure why it's named this, but it's not about that. It's about having an interest-based brain rather than a task-based brain. So Western psychology treats ADHD, autism, and other neurodivergences as disorders. So basically they're saying our brains don't function the way that society wants or expects them to. ADHD specifically is framed as a problem with focus and impulse control, while autism is seen as a struggle with social interactions, specifically nonverbal communication. Western medicine, don't get me wrong, it has helped us, but it tends to focus on what's wrong rather than asking, could this actually be a different form of intelligence? Think about it though. Let's look at how the brains work. So neurotypical brains follow a pretty simple process. See a task, feel a sense of urgency, do the task. But an ADHD brain, nah, we ain't doing it like that. We see a task, we wonder if it's exciting, urgent, or deeply meaningful. And if it's a yes, we hyper focus on that shit like a mad scientist. But if not, yeah, get somebody else to do it. And this is because our brains are connected to dopamine, which is the brain's reward chemical. We don't get enough of it naturally. So this is why boring or repetitive tasks feel like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. Like, it's physically painful. Bubble guts, anxiety, you're sweating. Oh my gosh, I got cramps. My feet hurt. Just all types of crazy shit. I got a headache, hypertension, like something's going on. Attention, headache. Oh my gosh, my blood pressure. Like, next thing you know, we just going through it, y'all. I'm over exaggerating, but y'all get where I'm going with this. So although our brains are stubborn, folks with ADHD often think outside the box. We sense energy deeply, and we struggle with rigid structures. So what if that's because we're meant to break the paradigms and bring something new into the world? I know a lot of folks talk about going with the flow, going along to get along, playing the game, etc., etc. But I think that we're here to say, fuck the game. Let's just be us. Let's just be authentic. And we inspire other people to do the same thing. I know a lot of us talk about other shit that we experience outside of our issues with rigid structures and rigid systems. Speaking to other people who are like me, they talk about heightened intuition and sensory sensitivity and almost this like psychic ability to read people. And when we think about it, right, like when we think about intuition, we have spookified it in Western culture, specifically pop culture, and we make it seem like it's this woo-woo thing, but really it's being tapped in. It's being tapped in into a deep knowing. It's about being tapped into spirit It's about just being tapped into what you can't see. And I know a lot of neurodivergent people, ADHD and autism specifically, are tapped in so much so into other people's energies. Like, we could feel that shit. I know for me, if my boyfriend is having a bad day or just something is off, maybe he's tired, like, I could just feel it. Like, it's like something ain't right. I don't know. I'm picking up on some energy. Like, my brain is just do. Like, that's how he describes how my brain works. He'd be like do. And it does. Like, I could just look at him and I'm like, something is not right. I could just pick up on it. And I wonder, folks who are so tapped in that way without even trying, if we are existing in two different worlds. Like, if we're in this 3D dimension, but also another dimension at the same time. I know it sounds woo-woo as fuck, y'all, but I don't know. This is just the shit that I be thinking about, or the shit that pops up on my TikTok, and I'm just going down the rabbit hole. Hey lady, I know you're busy listening to the show, but I just wanted to interrupt and say I appreciate you. Out of all the podcasts out in podcast land, you decided to listen to me, and I just want to say thank you, boo. Living in alignment is not easy, and while this is a labor of love, it is labor nonetheless. So, if you want to support the show monetarily, you can always donate via PayPal or buy me a coffee. See the link in the show notes. And if you don't have the coin, I get it, sis. Sharing with a friend is more than enough. Now, let's get back to the show. If you have ADHD, you probably know what it's like to walk into a room and instantly pick up on a vibe. Like, before anybody opens up their mouth, you look into your left and you look into your right and you like, hold up, something ain't right. I ain't feeling this shit. We also have this knowing, like, we know when someone is off. We know when someone lying. Even if you can't explain it, you can't put your finger on it, you like, something ain't right. My mom has that gift. She be like, something ain't right, he off. Or something ain't right, she off. She ain't telling something. Oh, she's really good at that. So I think people who have that ability, they tapped in. Like, it's not just physical. They're tapped in into something else. They're tapped in into the spiritual realm in a way that a lot of neurotypical brains, they just aren't. They just aren't. And I'm not saying that it's wrong that they aren't, just like it's not wrong that we are. It's just that we're different. Neither one is wrong. It's just different. I also noticed that I feel people's emotions like they're my own, like deeply. And I have to protect myself sometimes. So here's a practical tip. Carry you some black tourmaline with you if you feel other people's emotions deeply. Just want to throw that out there. I know when I go into large crowds, it's a dub. I can feel all that shit. And at first I used to think that there was something off with me, because I'm like, yo, I'm around this person and I'm like this, and I'm around this person and I'm like this. I realized that was masking, but then I might get around somebody and they all fucked up and upset, and I'm like, yo, I was just happy what happened. But humans are antennas, like, we're energy. The same way that you got electricity and you can't see it, we have electricity within us that we can't see. And if somebody's emotions, because emotion just stands for energy and motion, if somebody's emotions are coming towards me and I pick up on them bitches, and now I got them shits, and I'm like, yo, I'm all fucked up. It's like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? That's that picking up on other people's shit. And let's be real, like, that shit could be so fucking overwhelming because it's loud. Like, people's energy is loud. So I say all of that to say, carry you some black tourmaline, okay? But it turns out that there's actual science behind this. Studies have shown that ADHD brains have increased connectivity between certain areas, which explains why we think so fast, or why we sense energy deeply, or process information in a non-linear way, Similar research on autism suggests that autistic people process the world through patterns. So they're picking up on details that others completely miss. Now, I'm about to nerd out on y'all real quick because I found something that just blew me away about neurodivergent brains, specifically how fast we process information. So I think that because ADHD processes information so fast, it's connected to the subconscious in a way that we don't realize. So according to the Googles, the subconscious mind processes information at least 500,000 times faster than the conscious mind. And some research suggests the subconscious mind can process 11 million bits per second, while the conscious mind can handle only about 40 to 50 bits per second. So imagine a mind like the ADHD or the autistic mind that's just tapped in, that's just computing 500,000 times faster than the neurotypical mind. I'm going to just say that. Why is this shit important? The subconscious is always running in the background and making snap decisions, filtering information, and guiding behaviors before we're even aware of them. And this is why intuition and gut feelings and automatic habits happen so quickly, because it's our subconscious mind. Our subconscious is like our operating system, where the conscious mind is like the apps, right? I just think that neurodivergent minds are just tapped in to that operating system in a way that neurotypicals aren't. And like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's just different. It's just different. So this led me to this rabbit hole of diving into how other cultures and traditions view neurodivergence, specifically African and Eastern spiritual traditions, where they recognize these traits as signs of spiritual attunement. Instead of seeing Neuro-Spicy people as disorder, they view them as gifted. I also want to note that many of these traditions view science and magic as one and the same. Just food for thought. I'm just saying. But anywho, an example of this can be seen with the Yoruba culture. People who display traits we now call ADHD or autism were sometimes believed to have special connection to certain deities. They weren't seen as defective. They were believed to be in tune with divine knowledge. These folks were healers and shamans, and they did the divination work, etc., because they were tapped in. They're tapped in. Like if you think about it, you look at animals and how animals operate in nature. They tapped in the nature in a way that a lot of humans aren't. And I wonder if it's because of how our human society works that we're so far removed, or if it's a neurotypical, neurodivergent way of thinking. I don't know, because I just know that I'm tapped into my dog's feelings and emotions so much more. And it's almost like I don't even know how to explain it. Like if Bam Bam is going off about something, it's either he heard something or something is making him uncomfortable. And a neurotypical person is going to be like, shut up. Even sometimes I'm like, shut up, because it's overwhelming for me. But other times I have to take a step back. He's tapped in and he can hear something that I can't hear. So I have to take that step back, because animals are extremely intelligent. And according to some science, they don't have a conscience. So if they don't have a conscience, they just have a subconscious. And we already see how fast the subconscious moves. So if the subconscious is in the animals, and the animals are tapped into nature, and nature is all around us, it's making me wonder, I don't know, y'all. Like I said, I just be going down rabbit holes, and I digress. Not just in African traditions, but in indigenous cultures around the world, people are encouraged to embrace their flow, their natural flow, and their natural tendencies. This could be seen in, I'm going to say I'm saying this right, Taoism. So I would look into Taoism. I think I seen something about the monkey mind, the mind that's just constantly going and thinking, etc., etc. But I'm going to look into it some more. But in today's research, it's trying to catch up. So there are some studies that suggest that autistic individuals pick up on emotional and energetic cues before neurotypical people even register them. Like, straight up. Again, that goes back to that subconscious shit. I'm telling y'all, tapped in. But other research suggests that while autistic folks may struggle with verbal communication, they can communicate in a way that's almost telepathic. According to Dr. Diane Hennessy Powell, she claims that nonverbal autistic children have telepathic powers and claimed to prove this through a series of experiments. So she, along with Kai Dickens, who hosts the telepathy tapes on Spotify, suggests this. I want to say that there is a documentary that's coming out as well that talks about this, if it's not out already. But ADHD folks, on the other hand, report having random insights, right? Like, they turn out to be correct. So how many of you have just had this random ass thought, and you're like, okay, but it turns out to be right? It's because we can pick up on patterns. We feel people's energy instantly. And sometimes we just know things without knowing how we know them. What does that sound like to y'all? Because that sounds a damn sure a whole lot like spiritual downloads to me. Let's bring all this shit together. If you're anything like me, you probably forgot half of what I said, so I'm going to do a quick recap. 1. ADHD, autism, and other neurodivergences aren't disorders. They're different ways of processing the world. So what I need you to do is reframe how you see your diagnosis. Stop seeing it as a deficit and start recognizing it as a different type of consciousness. You are tapped in, okay? The ancestors said so. Ancient culture saw neurodivergence as a gift. They believed people like us have a unique role in the world and we're not broken, period. Practice energetic awareness. If you feel like you're absorbing too much energy, start grounding. Like I said, carry your black tourmaline, or you can carry some hematite. You could do a quick 5-second body scan to release energy that's not yours. Whatever it is that you need to do to just ground yourself in you, that's what you do. And lastly, track your intuitive hits. So pay attention to random insights. Are they really random, or are you picking up on something? Start tracking when your feelings are right. You might be surprised what happens. You might be surprised like what you see. And most importantly, honor how your brain works. Y'all, society wasn't built for minds like us. And I think it's because we can't be tamed. Like, you can't cage a phoenix. It takes radical acceptance to elevate to the next level as who you're supposed to be. It takes radical acceptance of your energy, your natural flow, for you to live in alignment with who you were meant to be when you came here. Whether you believe that you were created by something or that you are a manifestation of your prayers from a previous lifetime, either way, you were made perfectly. You were made perfectly. You are perfect. You were perfectly made before the world got a hold of you. I'm going to leave y'all with that because that's a gem. That's a gem. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for showing up for yourself. I sincerely enjoyed this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment and share with a friend. Give me some feedback. Until next time, y'all. Love, peace, and high vibrations.